Spiritual formation. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Gary, and thank you for giving me a few moments of your time to go on this learning journey as we explore what it means to be formed spiritually. The next pathway we're going to look at is the pathway of the activist. These are believers whose hearts most open up to God when they're involved in causes on behalf of God. It might be an evangelistic campaign. It might be picketing an injustice. It might be gathering petitions. For them, church is really a pit stop more than anything else. It's where they gather volunteers. It's where they get signatures for the petition. Because when they are engaged in battles on God's behalf, that's when God seems closest to them. You see this in Old Testament examples with Moses and Elijah, two men who often seem to be involved in confrontation for God's sake. But there's a danger here. Here's what we must make this a pathway to worship before anything else, or it can get off the tracks. It's possible to love confrontation for the sake of confrontation, not to be involved in confrontation for the sake of worship. Francis Schaeffer talked about this in his book, Mark of a Christian, when he said, "There is only one kind of person who can fight the Lord's battles in anywhere near a proper way, and that is a person who by nature is unbelligerent. A belligerent person tends to do it because he or she is belligerent, or at least it looks that way. The world must observe that. When we must differ with each other as true Christians, we do it not because we love the smell of blood, or the smell of the arena, or the smell of the bullfight, but because we must for God's sake. So let's look at some forms of activism. Writing is one of them. Remember Martin Luther's 95 Thesis that was nailed to the front door of the Wittenberg Church? Charles Spurgeon said that he was called to preach and write. And then there's social reform. Social reform is another big aspect for activists. John Wesley himself said there is no holiness but social holiness. To turn Christianity into a solitary religion is to destroy it. And that thinking is why so many Christians have led the fronts on so many evils in our society. When you look at slavery and child prostitution and all the ugly things that this world has seen, it's almost always Christians who were pushing the lines, who were standing up for justice, who wanted to see this world rid of these evils. And then intercession. Intercession is another big form of activism. Calling on God for help. Calling on God for more volunteers, calling on God to move. Evangelism is certainly a big part of that. But for the activists, if they're not stepping out, if there's not a little bit of risk, it doesn't really feel like worship to them. Well, thank you for giving me a few moments of your time as we continue to explore different pathways of our formation and how that we are shaped and formed to serve the Lord. I hope that you're enjoying this and getting some value out of this. I would be very honored if you would take a few moments and share this content on your social platform so that others can know about this learning opportunity as we grow together in community. Well, until we can meet again, we bid you Godspeed. Bye for now.